This is Matt Russell from the FX Power Course, and welcome to the DailyFX.
So here are the four pairs that I will be discussing this evening: the Euro Pound, the Aussie Kiwi, the Pound Swiss, and the Euro Swiss. Let's go ahead and pull up the charts. The first chart is the Euro Pound, and this is the simple resistance line that I've been using for the past several reports. I mentioned a few reports back of a potential short trade, but then I also cautioned yesterday if you did enter to exit that trade because we did have a close above the line. And like clockwork, the next candle obviously we can see is a large bearish candle to the downside, and now prices are back below the line. It's not very clean in my opinion, but I would have a tentative bearish bias against the line. I would keep the risk incredibly tight. For example, right now, as I'm speaking, prices are brushing up against the line. This is a trade you might enter with a 20 or 30 pip stop and exit obviously on any move, sustainable move above this line. But again, this is not a high percentage trade. I don't like the penetration here. It sort of invalidates the integrity of the line that we're using. And that's the main purpose of using these very simple, straightforward lines is to give you an idea of where you are in the trade at all times. And using a reference point like this is better, in my opinion, than using an indicator such as MACD or RSI, because they don't give you specific price points to base your trade on. And that's why these lines are effective, in my opinion, if not obviously all the time reliable. No indicator is going to be 100% reliable, but in my opinion, the best use of an indicator is if it helps you psychologically entering each and every trade, where to place your stop, and also where the pair is located in relation to your analysis. So as of right now, again, I have a slight bearish bias, but if prices penetrate again, even just a few pips above this line, I would negate the trade right away and look for the next opportunity. Speaking of which, the next chart is the Aussie Kiwi, and as I mentioned during the past several reports, I was expecting prices to come down and eventually break below the 124 figure, but I also mentioned how I would expect a brief bounce off that level. So that's what's happening right now, and actually right now prices are just beneath that 124 figure. Ideally, I would like to see a close beneath the low of all these wicks, and that has not occurred yet. So right now I would have a slight bullish bias, but again, this is a trade that I would not enter on the long side. I'm going to wait for the short trade to set up here, and again, this would be confirmed by a close beneath these candle wicks, which is about the 2380 area. So that's the price level we should be looking at for the next next few days. Next chart. Pound Swiss, not much has changed here. A brief rally off the sell-off from above that 180 figure. Again, I'm still just waiting for prices to come down and test this longer-term support line formed by the late 2008 low and the mid-March low, which is this price point right here. So again, this is sort of a holding pattern here, a trade that could present itself within the next few days and certainly during next week. The last chart is the Euro Swiss, and let me zoom out here and give you a better idea of the longer term resistance line that I was using. And we had the break above the line, and then I mentioned how we might look to enter a long position on the back test of this line from the opposite side. I did mention during yesterday's report with a brief penetration of this line, same concept as the Euro Pound trade here. I didn't like the way it looked. I wasn't comfortable. Ideally, I like to see these lines hold within a few pips, and that didn't happen. We had to close beneath, so I did mention to exit the trade. And right now prices are beneath that line, so this trade I would just stay on the sidelines here, give this at least another 24 hours, see how this daily candle plays out, and then go from that point. Again, my name is Matt Russell, and I also want to mention that I will be away. I'm going to be in Hawaii for the next 2 weeks, so I want to wish everybody a happy 2 weeks, and I will be back on July 26th will be the next report. I will be in Kauai, and I will see you all then. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.